Hello class, today we're going to look at graphing a linear equation using the x-intercept and y-intercept. So our problem we're working with here is 5x plus 3y equals 15. So let's go ahead and talk a little bit about intercepts first, and then we'll come back to the problem. So when we're looking at a linear equation, the x-intercept is going to be the location on the graph where it crosses the x-axis. So remember that your x-axis runs left and right or horizontal. So my x-intercept is this point that we're working with where the line crosses the x-axis. So this point is 1, 2 to the left, so it's a negative 2 for the x value, up and down 0. Okay? So we have an x-intercept at negative 2, 0. The y-intercept is where your graph crosses the y-axis, and that's the one that runs up and down a vertical. So we have crossing up 3, left and right 0. So it doesn't move any left or right, but up 3 gives me the y-intercept at 0, 3. Notice these values of 0 in our intercepts. Those are going to come into a key part when we start finding the intercepts when we have an equation. So let's go ahead and look at some of that real quick. So the x-intercept. The x-intercept happens when we cross the x-axis. What happens is this y value is going to always be 0, and we're going to find the x value. So when we have an equation and we're trying to find the x-intercept, we can't just look at the graph. We have to go ahead and algebraically find it. So to do that, we plug in a y value of 0. So I'm going to take 0, plug it into the equation, and find the x value or solve for x. Okay. The y-intercept, notice your x value is 0. So at the y-intercept, I have an x value of 0. I'm going to try to find the y value. So to do that, I plug in the x value of 0 to find the y value. This is the process we're going to use when we have an equation and we're trying to find these 2 points. Again, if I'm moving too fast, remember you can always pause. Okay, so let's go to our first problem here and let's find the x-intercept. So the x-intercept happens when the y value is 0. So I'm going to take my equation of 5x plus 3y equals 15, and I'm going to plug in 0 for y. So that gives me 5x plus 3 times 0 equals 15. Right? So now our goal is just to solve for x and find the missing point. So 5x plus 0, 3 times 0, equals 15. Anything plus 0 is just what we had. And then to get y by itself, we're going to, to get x by itself, we're going to divide by 5. Since we have multiplication, and that gives me an x value of 3. So up here we have an x value of 3. This is going to be one of the points we use to get our graph of our linear equation. So let's go ahead and find the y-intercept. Y-intercept happens when the x value is 0, and we're going to try to find the matching y value. So we have 5x plus 3y equals 15. I'm going to plug in a 0 for x. So I have 5 times 0 plus 3y equals 15. Okay, go ahead and pause the video for a moment and solve for y. And then once you've solved, go ahead and hit play again, and we'll check to see if you have the same answer. Okay. 5 times 0 gives us 0 plus 3y equals 15. 0 plus 3y gives me 3y equals 15. Again, I'm undoing multiplication, so I use division. And I get y equals 5. So that's the y value that goes along with an x value of 0. So now we're going to use these 2 points to graph our equation. So let's go back to Math Excel, and I'll show you how to graph. So we have the point 3, 0 was our first point. That's going to be our x-intercept. So let's go ahead and pick a line because we want to graph a line. We're going to go over to the right 3. That's our first point. Our second point was at 0 up 5. So we're going to go to 0, 5. We're going to click at 0, 5. Notice that down here below the graph on the right it tells me 0, 5. So it tells us the point. Once you have your 2 points selected, that's given you your line. You got to have the 2 points. We hit check answer. Excellent. So that's graphing a linear equation using the intercepts. If you want to try another problem, you just hit similar exercise. You can try again. Hope that helps.